There it is. Now why can't I hear it? The fuck is going on? Come on, man. Don't fuck with me. Why is it not doing what it's supposed to do? There it is. About fucking time. Jesus! My God, what the fuck? Hello? I have no idea. I think she's on the phone with her mom right now.
Hey, is that your mom?
Yeah, here.
My mom's gonna pick you.
Here, just take it and it's a lot of shit.
Oh, hey, mom. She's on the phone. I know, she's on Kevin's phone.
God, dude. You know what?
Yeah, that's what my mom said.
This is fucking wild, dude.
You know, before coming to get me.
Yep, I got it. I figured it out.
Alright.
Right. Can you shut
okay.
Can you shut the... Fuck me. Alright, so if I can fucking do this now. I've been researching shit all morning. Right? And I figured out some things. Now, I was trying to work in a conspiracy theory with a couple of different things. I know, extremely professional. It's fucking ridiculous. This is part of the reason why I do things pre-recorded so that I can cut all this bullshit out. But whatever, it is what it is, man. I feel like one of my favorite podcasts is the Church of What's Happening Now. And what I really enjoy about it is they'll be in the middle of a conversation and you can hear planes going by, you hear fire trucks passing, cop cars blaring past, all kind of crazy shit is happening. And you know, they even comment on it like, dude, this is just what it fucking is, man. So you know what, I appreciate that. And life is going to happen around me. I understand that it's not professional, but you know what though, dude, I think being professional is a little bit overrated, in the sense that, are we supposed to act and pretend like life does not happen, like I'm just in some major studio all by myself? Because we all know that that is sincerely not the case. But anyway, I was looking into some shit this morning, some conspiracy shit, because I had a thought, right? Sam Roberts from Jim and Sam made a really good point. If any of you are in the States, then you're probably aware, even if you're not, I'm sure you're probably aware that there are a gang of politicians who have decided out of fucking nowhere, it seems like, that vaping needs to be stopped. Like, vaping is the new cocaine or the new marijuana, whatever you want to refer to it as, right? And I find it kind of strange that the first instance I saw of this was my state's governor went on and was like, look, people are fucking dead because of this shit. Bad chemicals are in it because you know, this shit's coming off of the streets. Nobody knows what all is going on with it, where it's coming from, how it's getting here. It's all black market shit, which, by the way, is that and I'm by no means an SJW, but just out of curiosity, are they, you know, wouldn't you consider a black market, like a racial deal? I don't know if you would or not. How many conspiracy episodes are you planning? The original plan was to have one for the last week of September and go all the way through October with conspiracy theories up until Halloween, and then we'll probably do one on Halloween. The problem is that I've got the JFK one, which I completely fucked, and I know I talked a bunch about that last night. Which I realized this morning that I have the rough drafts of the audio without the drops in it because I pulled up the audio file for the JFK thing, and the problem is I'm an asshole and I didn't save it. I exported it. Now I'm about to bore all of you quick. I'll make it fast because I want to get back to the point that I wanted to make. But with the program that I am using, you have two options. You can either export through a WAV or an MP3, or you can save the file, which turns out to be a pain in the ass. It takes up a lot of space. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it really doesn't, but it's enough to have a noticeable difference. So what I started to do was just rip it as an MP3. The problem with that is when you rip it as an MP3, once you close it, it mixes everything down into one track. So because I fucked it up, everything is mixed in one track and there's no way for me to fix it without having to cut out huge pieces of what I was talking about, so it's not going to make sense. So I'm going to have to start back from the beginning again, which kills me because I like to treat this shit. We're just going to say what it is. There was an old saying back in the day which was, basically, if you're going to bang somebody ugly, you want to treat it. I'm pretty sure it was something along the lines of like, banging an ugly person is like riding a quad. It's a fun time until all your friends find out, right? So this is basically the same thing, except the only difference is once I do a podcast, I want to be fucking done with it because I want to move on to the next thing because I like to have everything in order. I like to plan shit, and this is fucking with the way that I'm going to do shit. Now, I wanted to make next week's, not this Saturday coming up, which would be the 5th, because that's the flat hollow Lego Earth. It would have been planned for the 12th. I wanted to do it because we need one for the 12th, we need one for the 19th, and I just realized we would have to do the Halloween one on the 26th, unless we do a Halloween special, but I'll probably be out with the kids while they trick or treat because, you know, they always want me to go along with them, which I don't mind doing if I can do it. So I had to figure it out. But I went researching because after what I heard last night from the governor and all that shit. I was like, dude, there's got to be information out there. There has to be. And I went looking, and unfortunately, there's not enough info for me to really build off of it. Like, basically, it would be all speculation with what I would be doing. Because check this out. For those of you that are unaware, I had no idea. I know a lot of you guys are probably a lot more well versed in most of these things than I am. But, this is a fucking learning channel, as, Demos mentioned last night. Vaping is not a new concept. For anybody that does not know, the vape has been around since 1927, if you can believe that. Somewhere around there. It originated in the 20s, and then it actually made a comeback in 63 and blew up in 65. That's when it became big. And it was between a few different people, three different people specifically, have their names on it, which I'm pretty sure the original guy that invented it. Well, let me pull up the fucking page. Wait. I don't even remember what I did to pull this. Okay, so look, here's the cliff notes. Or no, here we go. I got the page. I got the page up now. So check this out. Journey through vaping history. I forgot I can screen share. So let me share this with you. Screen share, Chrome tab, share. Is it sharing? Okay, beautiful. So check this out, right? Vaping, modern trend, new vapes, root. Believe it actually goes all the way back to the fucking ancient Egyptians. Were known for vaping techniques such as using hot stones to vape herbs, aka weed. They were token up even back then. That's what I would choose to believe, right? I would choose to believe that they were smoking weed even back then, but who the fuck knows? So now, who invented the contemporary e-cigarette? Modern vaping history. The first idea came from Joseph Robinson in 1927. However, it was in 1963 when some other asshole and his non. See, this is what I find interesting. Herbert Gilbert and his smokeless non tobacco cigarette made vaping popular. And then a Chinese guy, Han Lick, made the first modern e cigarette in the mid 2000s. Now, that is a wild fucking journey right there. But what's happening here is the original thing came up, right? And then the second guy, because his father died of cancer, he decided to come up with it's basically it's a thing that is in the shape of a cigarette except nothing. I mean, apparently vape came out of it, but I've seen some of them that didn't have anything, nothing happened when you smoked them. It was just to give you the ritual to be able to smoke it. That's what was going on. So now we're going all the way back to 5th century BC. Like, who knows if this shit is actually fucking real? I have no idea. Is there a way to tell how long this shit has actually been around? I'm definitely not the guy to figure this shit out. Here's what I find interesting and disgusting at the same time. You know, people have tried different ways to consume nicotine: smoke it, vape it, chew it, and apply it to the skin. That is fucking disgusting. Just, I mean, chewing it is, I can't even. But shouldn't be a surprise to hear people try to inject nicotine, no matter how deadly that can be. Which leads me to believe that for whatever reason, people in general just have an obsession with injecting themselves with shit. Now, I don't know why the fuck that is, but of all the things in the world to inject yourself with, why the fuck would you want to inject nicotine? I have no fucking idea. Why you'd want to inject anything other than something you absolutely had to, I'm not sure. But so check this out, right? So then we fast forward in the 80s, we moved to commercializing e-cigarettes, which there was a brand called Eclipse. I remember this shit from the early 2000s where it was actually, you know what? I'll pull it up. I'll pull it up because I had it pulled up earlier. Check this out. This is the deal. It's shaped like a cigarette. Inside is the nicotine. Apparently, it was half tobacco and half whatever the fuck else. Now, what would happen is this is the part that you pull from, right? It's shaped like a cigarette, and there's a metal ring in the middle. Now, you would light this end. You light this end and you pull it, the fiberglass would heat up and would quote unquote melt this shit in the middle. That was something that actually happened. I'm not sure though if it's even still around at this point, but I would imagine it probably is. So, back in the 90s, the FDA did not allow tobacco companies to introduce e cigarettes onto the market. In Europe, it was also popular. The Eagle Bill invented cannabis vaporizers. Of course, Amsterdam, where it took place, Germans got involved in it. You know, we already know in the early 2000s Chinese dude decided to invent the first e-cigarette because his father died of cancer. The first e-cigarette in the US appeared in 2007, become a popular trend since then, and there were also two brothers that made this shit in the UK. But check this out. This right here, this was very similar to the first one that was ever created. All egos aboard. This train is set to arrive in Drama Queen Town, where your all programmed responses can be heard. Please refrain from interacting with the actors. Okay. Uh let me just take a moment. Are you trying to say what are you exactly trying to say here? Are you saying that I think that my ego is big enough that I need to be? I don't understand what is happening. Drama Queen Town. If you think that this is going to be about, you know, oh, well, you shouldn't vape or whatever, I'm not here to tell you what to do or what not to do. There's a reason why I bring this up. But I mean, I just want to point out though that if I'm supposed to be the actor in this scenario, you've already violated your own rule by leaving a comment here because that's technically an interaction. So I mean, look, if you want to vape, vape. If you don't, don't. I personally don't trust this shit. And that's just what it is. I mean, look, they got the whole shit here, cartridges, cartomizers, batteries, the whole fucking history is right here for you to see it. You can see how it all went down. Now, here's the thing that I find the most interesting, which is if you were not aware, the company Juul, which is one of the biggest vape companies out there, at least to my knowledge, from what I understand, is one of the biggest companies. And the tobacco industry, specifically Philip Morris, aka Marlboro, YouTube is for thoughts too, which I'm assuming, I think that means hoe, right? Pretty sure. I've heard this in rap songs and shit. I feel like an old ass man already, but the cigarette company bought, I want to say like 28% of the vaping company last year, and now all of a sudden they're talking about pulling this shit off of the shelves. Hashtag save the children, which is the same thing that has been killing marijuana legalization for the entire time. Oh, we can't have We can't have edibles because children will want to get into it. Here's what I find hilarious about that is for those of you that don't know, our last governor had a fucking weed bill, which ironically enough only made it possible for children to be the ones to benefit from using edibles. When someone tells you smoking kills you and you know a 103-year-old who smokes, you got to be pretty dumb to believe them. Well, see, well, hold on, man. Let's be realistic here, right? Everybody's body is different. Now, what is this person smoking? If they're smoking nicotine and they live to be 103, that's one thing, but you can easily turn around and you can make the argument, look, you could take penicillin probably. If I take penicillin, that shit could very well kill me. Everybody's body's different. I know there was an old person who lived to be at least in their late 90s, if not their late hundreds, and I'm pretty sure they lived off a diet of red meat and or peanut butter sandwiches, Thunderbird, and smoked a carton a pack of cigarettes in a fucking month. So you can't take one person's experience and use that and apply it as a general rule to everybody. Having said that, though, I mean, it's been around for a very long time. I think what the argument comes down to is moderation, right? Because if you use anything in access, it could fucking kill you. But the fact that I don't think it's a coincidence that the cigarette companies buying a decent percentage in these vape companies and now all this shit and all these politicians are coming out all at once together. Exactly. Everybody is different. They smoke the same as everyone else. That's the point. Science and statistics in the world don't mean fuck all. Look, they probably don't. They probably don't. I can tell you for a fact that I have no idea what to believe. I really don't. I mean, look, dude, every every year they change up what's good for you and what's bad for you. Last year they could tell you to eat all the eggs that you can handle, and this year now they're saying, eggs are horrible for you, don't eat that. Susceptible to certain illnesses based on genes. That's also true. Which I should also bring up, semi unrelated to this. I tried some CBD shit, which the videos are up on the YouTube channel of me using it, and it is legal as far as I understand. I mean, it's in every fucking gas station and smoke shop that there is. Vape is a legal way for tobacco companies to sell in a country where advertising is illegal for smokes. People eating pussy get a throat cancer. Look, bro, if eating pussy gets you throat cancer, then buy me a fucking headstone right now. Because that's my goddamn part time job, dude. The fuck out of here. I mean, I couldn't figure a better way to obtain cancer than eating pussy, right? Like, why not? And you can make the argument of, well, that's not a real manly thing to do. Yeah, but I mean, come on, bro. Really? I'm going to ask somebody to blow me and not return the favor. Fair exchange. That's just the way it's supposed to go down. But so that's a good point, though, that the vape companies, maybe they did that so that they can get away with doing it without advertising. It's very possible. It's very possible. So, this shit is all kinds of all over the fucking place. It's completely ridiculous. So going through all of this. Wait, I was on the CBD thing. So look, I would say if we're gonna try to be factual, I want to say five other people, minimum, five other people smoked the same shit that I smoked, and I was the only one who happened to have a uh, bad side effects with it. Like, look, I smoked that shit. I felt okay at first, but the next day, headaches set on, stomach rumblings with shit in my brains out all day. Nobody else had those side effects other than me. So I try it off and on again just to see. Maybe it's me. It has to be. There must be something in it that is reacting. Maybe I'm reacting to it specifically because of something that I have going on in my brain. Maybe there's a chemical in it that maybe I'm exclusively having a reaction to. I have no idea. But no, it just doesn't it doesn't make sense. I don't get it. And I forget the fucking point why I had brought this up in the first place. Oh wait. Okay, hold on. You keep believing those scary stories about cancer and you'll end up like the cancer patient who was healthy until a doctor told them they would die. Then they died. Belief has more power than you know. Well, it's ironic that you would say that because I personally knew somebody who was an overachiever and managed to obtain like six different types of cancer. Fought five of them, right? And then decided on the sixth turn, she said, I remember the conversation in detail. She actually sat down with us and was like, listen, I did this. They call it spelling for a reason because words have power. Yeah, I never thought about that. I never thought about that. I honestly never connected those two things. I never thought, why is spelling called spelling? That actually makes sense. Maybe we can tie that shit into the pagan somehow, or whoever the fuck it is that does that type of shit. But she was like, dude, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this anymore. I've fought it all long enough. It's time for me to retire. And then, of course, shortly after she decided to make that decision, it went downhill very fast. Very fucking fast. And I've seen it on more than one occasion. So it's likely, cast your spells with your tongue like doctors do. I mean, that's true. Dude, so I don't know. I believe personally, because I've seen it firsthand, that the power in what you believe, if you believe in something long enough, it it can have, and I think it's called self-fulfilling prophecy, right? In one way or another.
You make it happen.
Yeah, you can make it happen. So that's the
Wait, you think if you're just like, it's your birthright, it's just, good things always happen, in your life, shit like that.
it's possible. It's entirely possible because I've seen it. I've seen it with my own two eyes. There's no a doctor can tell me straight up, if you believe that you can fight cancer, that doesn't mean that you will defeat cancer. Maybe you're right, but there has to be a connection
Maybe your will
with fighting it, because your will, if you decide that you're not going to fight it and you just let the shit take you over, there has to be something said about that. There has to be. because I've seen it. I can't prove it. Maybe it's one of those things that, you know, the human mind is a fucking really weird thing, right? We don't know how the fuck does it work. We're still trying to figure it out. We know some things, but why is it that we only use such a small percentage of it? Is it possible that if we used more of it, we could unlock, psychic powers or whatever? I have no fucking idea. Here's what I do know though, dude. I had an issue with this CBD shit. Nobody else did. So, you know, I don't I don't know, man. I've come to find out that these pharmaceutical companies are coming into the state and they're buying pharmaceutical plants that were shut down. These places from India are buying them. I laugh at doctors and challenge them always. Just give up and admit they don't really know fuck all. Well, I've talked to doctors that have been like, dude, I don't know. I would rather a doctor be honest with me. I hate somebody that thinks that they know everything there is to know because you went to school and studied for a little while. That doesn't necessarily mean that you know everything. You know more than I know, but there's a good chance that you don't know just as much as I do. I have met doctors who have gone through school and graduated and don't know shit about cerebral palsy, a fucking disease that has been around for a long time. A lot of doctors don't know anything about it, yet
Or
somehow,
shingles.
yeah, or shingles for that matter, but somehow they're able to fucking graduate medical school still. I don't understand it. But now these companies are coming in and they're buying these old plants, and the reason why they were shut down is because they were linked to diseases and cancer and shit. Now these people come in, they pay the state a hefty amount of money, and now they reopen these plants and they make their drugs here, I guess, to ship back to India. Not really sure. The point that I'm getting at is, why is it that all of a sudden pharmaceutical company comes in, and it's not just New Jersey, it's New York as well. And these are the two states, our neighboring state, Pennsylvania, pretty sure has a recreational marijuana law, right? And they have medical as well. New Jersey has medical. New York is trying to figure their shit out, which, I mean, honestly, a lot of people in New York could use a fucking couple of hitters. You know what I'm trying to say? Especially some of the fucking cops. And here in New Jersey too. I really think, I really think a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this, and I mentioned it on the podcast before, which very unpopular opinion, I guess, but why should a cop not be allowed to smoke a joint when they're off of work? When they're off work. I had three doctors tell me I had asthma. I told all of them to put their wages on it, and they all laughed. 30 years on, still no asthma. Pill pushing wannabe gurus is all they are. Well, see, this is the argument that I wanted to get into, and I wanted to wrap this in with the vapes and the pharmaceutical companies, but I didn't really have enough. I didn't want it to be all filler, just me talking about shit that I can't back up. But whatever, man. It is what it is. Now, look, like you, they told me I was going to be in a wheelchair by the time I was 21. I'm 34. Fuck your wheel. I told the doctor, fuck your wheelchair, bitch. Take it and shove it up your fucking ass. You're not going to catch me rolling around bar to bar in a fucking wheelchair. It's not going to happen. I stopped walking when my legs stopped fucking working. And somehow here I am still walking around. Maybe a lot of that
No, I
has
was
to do.
calculating 20 minutes.
What the fuck?
Mom's here.
Okay.
Do you want me to come and get you, after I drop off your mom at work? Or wherever she needs to be dropped off before I go back to my mom's appointment?
I'm guessing that I have to go.
Food shopping after my dentist.
Then yeah, I guess then do that if you want to, unless she's gonna have some kind of problem with it.
Alright, I'll see.
Just fucking ridiculous, bro. Ridiculous, dude.
I'll bring your wallet just in case.
Okay. Most conspiracies can't be backed, so it's all good. Yeah, dude. I mean, this is fucked because I should save it for an episode, but at the same time, here's the issue that I'm struggling with. This is a topic where I would like to have some feedback on this type of shit. So if I do this by myself, of course I can record it, put it out, but the problem is, then I can't get the interaction that I would like to have. But so look, it's not a secret. And the other thing is the medication shit as well is another hard hidden fucking topic that I would definitely like to get into. But now I have a fucking now I have an issue. Because I have to look, y'all have to give me a moment. I would love to give you, or you know what? I bet you I can. I just unplugged my headphones. If there's an echo, that's not what my intention is. Hold on. Ego tripping, white coat wearing, doesn't matter. Require a conspiracy, just idiots believe in idiots. Well, I mean, isn't that life? We're all following each other around blindly, I kind of feel like, in one way or another, because there's no way for us to know for sure what the fuck is actually happening. We can't we can't know 100%. So look, I'm just gonna put some shit on because I gotta take a fucking leak real quick. I'm clicking on something random. Let's see what it is. Whenever you want to play, it's good for me. Not like I have to actually do anything. Hopefully, you all can hear that. So it's not like I'm dead in the water here. I'll be right back. Okay. All right. Okay. Whatever happened to the bath salt epidemic? Remember that? All good laughing burgers. Cheer for the 10 minutes. Appreciate it, dude. And bath salts. That's another one. That's another one. Honestly, you could tie that in with fucking opioids, really, I think. Or cocaine. Bath salts, cocaine, K2, all that shit really goes hand in hand. It honestly does. Because there were people that were like, oh, dude, you snip this shit, it gives you the same feeling that Coke gives you. Like, bro, I'm not sniffing that. Are you out of your fucking head, bro? Y'all wanted me to try this K2 bullshit, and I tried it. And I gotta be honest with you, not into it. Synthetic anything is never a good idea, especially not smoking a fucking incense or sniffing it or whatever the fuck these kids do. Dumb. Fucking dumb. Now, I'm sure bath salts are alive and well somewhere. They have to be. There's no way. There's no way that they're not. But I'm not sure. So I could definitely put that in the category of shit that we could work on. But we all want to get high. Yeah, that's true. That definitely is. It definitely is true. I mean, dude, just the fact that I don't understand how you have the CBD shit and these vape things, right? They're fucking everywhere. They're everywhere. Yet to get the official shit, you need to go and get a license through the program and all of that. If they were really worried about what people are getting their hands on, you would think that they would make it more difficult for regulations. But I guess that's just not as fun. And they probably want people to get fucked over first, unless they can't stop them from making it. I'm not sure, but this whole thing is a goddamn mess. I know that. I know that for a fucking fact. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Now they're saying to leave all vape shit alone. First they said the weed through the dispensary, vape pens were fine, and now they're saying don't even touch that. Which I know obviously there are imposters out there. There's fake shit that claims that it's real THC, just like there's shit that's out there that claims it's real CBD. Because you're always going to have that. I mean, it's with everything. Just like you have Fruit Loops and Fruity O's, when you have any type of a product, you're going to have somebody that makes a knockoff. I just don't understand, how is it so easy for them to put this shit all over the place and the state just fucking allows it, and meanwhile they're bitching and complaining about how the underground market is is dangerous, but they don't want to regulate shit. Make The least they could do is make real CBD products, the the byproduct of a dispensary, widely available. That's the least that they could do. The least they could do. Her vapes were unclean and that's why people got sick. Well, I heard the same thing, and I know somebody who got popcorn lung, which apparently is the thing that people get from using it. The problem is other vapes exploded. I know a few people who had vapes explode on them as well. But the problem is, dude, when we're talking about unclean, are we talking about shit that has mold in it? Are we talking about pesticides? We really don't know what is in any of this shit. And I mean, dude, I wouldn't even hit a dispensary. If I had a medical license right now, I wouldn't even walk into a dispensary and buy a medical weed pen. I wouldn't, because unless they're gonna make this shit in front of me, and I know what you're gonna say, you can make the same argument about weed, you can make the same argument about the pills that come out of the pharmacy. You have no idea what the fuck you're taking. You really don't, because we've been groomed to just go to a Walgreens, a Rite Aid, a fucking other place that I can't think of, and go, okay, I can trust this person who wears a white coat that they're going to give me the proper medication because there's nowhere else I can get it. We've just been accustomed to that. So I guess we just automatically assume that it's all good, but it really isn't. So it's a tough spot, dude, because I'm a hypocrite. I know that. I'm a hypocrite because, unfortunately, smoking cigarettes, horrible. I only really, I started getting bad with them when I had to give up the weed in the first place, which was fucking stupid. It was stupid of me to do that. But I did. And I can't take it back now. Wish I could, but I can't. So, you have no idea what's in cigarettes. You don't know how they're made. You don't see how this shit gets done. But if they could make the shit in front of me, show me what all goes into it. It maybe even then, but I would much rather have the bud. Now again, go back to the same argument of, well, you don't know what all goes into it. You don't know how they grow it. You don't know what they're using to control it. So how do you even know what you're using is even safe? Well, the problem is that you don't. We just automatically assume that it is. Because if it was, you wouldn't have to sign paperwork before you even get your license stating that the state is in no way responsible for any harm that comes to you, because apparently marijuana, even for the medical use, is not FDA regulated, which is fucking crazy. But I don't know, man. This goes, all this shit is tied in together simply because there's no matter what avenue you want to go down, you're heading in a bad direction. Okay, if you take the pills, you can wind up an addict, you can wind up dependent, or they can flat out fucking kill you. Maybe through an allergic reaction. From what I understand, the reason why these pills are so dangerous is because it shuts down your it shuts down the parts of your nervous system that allow you to breathe. And it controls that. So over long-term use, this is what the psych doctor told me when I first went back on them. The pain management doctor I go to now had me go to a psychologist or psychiatrist, whichever one it is, to do a mental evaluation to make sure that I was not at risk for abuse, right? And this dude told me the reason why this shit is all so strict is because it shuts down your breathing, and over time, even if you don't abuse it, you could still have issues where you can get fucked up, which is part of the reason how they use euthanasia program, where they feed you morphine and another drug. I forget what it is, but they give you those two drugs every 15 minutes until your body shuts down. That's how they do it, which is apparently one of the most humane ways that you can go, because I'm assuming you're so fucked up you don't even know what is happening. I would hope. I would hope. I don't know, but so you don't know what is happening. You really don't, because going to pills, get addicted, be dependent, go on the weed, and you gotta pay an arm and an asshole for it. There's no guarantee the shit's gonna be in stock, and apparently medical patients are still being arrested for it, which is fun. It's not legal on a federal level, so that means at any point, I guess the FBI could just kick your fucking door in and take you to prison, and nobody ever hears from you again. Or you have option three, my personal favorite, which is just rot. Just rot. We don't have any compassion or love for you, dude. And so fucking what? So what? Deal with it. Like, and I mean, you could even tie abortion into this shit, in the sense that if everything is so loose and they really don't care about people who are born really fucked up, why is everybody so against? If you're able in this day and age, and we're not talking about religion, we're not talking about any of that bullshit. This is what we're talking about. If you're pregnant and you can see the child is going to have deformities that is clearly going to affect it for the rest of its life, why would you not give that person the opportunity to go, can I spare this child? I have the option to spare this child from a life of suffering and pain. Why should you not be allowed to do that? It's only right. Why is it okay to put a dog down when it gets old, but you can't have a fucking abortion? And I know that there's time sensitive issues with that, and rules and regulations and shit like that. And I'm not saying to use it as, every fucking couple of months run in there and go grab one. That's not what I'm saying. But I mean, there's abuse in every fucking system. I don't get it, man. I really don't get it. We're in a really fucked up position right now as far as all this shit is concerned, because who the fuck knows where this is all going to end up. So we ban we ban vapes. How the fuck do you logically still allow nicotine to be packaged and sold when you're sitting here talking about the risks? Well, because adults can make their own decisions. Okay, well, adults are also vaping though. And cigarettes cause cancer at the least. So, and again, hashtag save the children, because that's who you're worried about. You're worried about the kids getting a hold of them. Well, why the fuck do you allow somebody to make a cinnamon toast crunch vape, dude? Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Unless, of course, you're trying to catch them early. I don't get it. I don't get it. Versus a plant that's illegal that you can't have, that could help. It could help. It's not going to help everybody. It's not going to help everybody. Some people are going to have a bad reaction to it. But you don't allow that. But I can have a pill that could fucking kill me. I don't understand the way this fucking system works. I really don't get it. I I mean, what are we doing? As a fucking whole, what are we doing? I have no idea. I don't know. Here's the biggest problem of all. I'm posing all of these questions and I don't have an answer for you. That is the worst part of it. I can't point at something and go, that's the move. That's what we need to do. That will fix everything. Everything is going to be okay. Because I don't, no matter what you do, pregnant women and jammy do it. I'm not worried about kids smoking weed. Well, dude, neither am I. I mean, honestly, I don't think kids should. Jamaica, I figured that's what you meant was Jamaica. But, dude, I don't think kids should smoke weed. Now, again, I'm a hypocrite because, 15, 16, 14, 15, 16, smoking, drinking, whatever. But I mean, that's what you do when you're young. You're fucking around, you're experimenting with shit. But we need to look into brain development, right? Which is, I think, why they set the legal age to 21. I don't think it's a good idea for kids to smoke, but we would be out of our fucking minds if we did not acknowledge that drugs are more accessible in schools and in prisons than anywhere else. That's just a fact, dude. Nothing you could do about that. You know, uh, soccer mom, Virginia Slim doesn't want little Jimmy to be smoking weed or vapes or cigarettes, as she shouldn't, but at the same time, you're around this same child popping Xannies and drinking wine by the fucking gallon as if that's not going to have an effect on the way that your child sees the fucking world. And I'm by no means perfect. I'm just saying, man, before all these people start trying to tell other people how to live, maybe you should analyze your own fucking life, which no one can research because weed is still illegal, which is fucking crazy. It's crazy. It shouldn't be. Legalize it. Here's what you do. You want a fucking answer? I have an answer for you. Legalize weed. Well, what about all the issues that we're going to be having, sir? What do you propose to do about that? Well, here's what I propose we do. Well, first of all, let me ask you, members of the board, what are your concerns? Well, obviously, first and foremost, we're worried about the children. That's clearly an issue. We don't want elementary, middle school, and early high school kids using this drug. That's a fair argument, and I hear you. But are we going to sit and pretend? Do you know a 16-year-old that can't, a 14-year-old that can't get their hands on drugs? I can't name one. I can't name one because they're everywhere. That's first thing. Secondly, if we're going to talk about that, can we examine what the fuck is happening with pharmaceuticals? I understand everybody is worried about weed, and I'm not looking to advocate that children smoke it. I can't stress that enough unless there's a medical need for it. Because if you could prescribe a child a pill, what the fuck is the difference? How come nobody is looking at that? More children are on prescription drugs than I think any other people, which is fucking bananas. But let's completely ignore that, right? So there's the first thing out of the way. Look, we already have an age limit. We already have an age limit. Set it to 21. Anybody who is caught selling it to a minor, you gotta face some kind of fucking punishment, dude. You can't be driving an ice cream truck around selling drugs to kids, even if it is only weed. You can't do that. That's not. You can't. You can't do it, dude. That's fucking dumb. That's just dumb. What should the punishment be? I have no idea. I have no fucking idea. Because you can't put them on a sex offenders esque list where, well, this person was caught selling weed to children. Yeah, but then people, you know, that raises its own problems. So we'll put a pin in that and we'll come back to it, right? What's your second issue in the council here? Well, honestly, sir, we don't want people under the influence driving. I 100% agree with you. If you're smoking, you should have no business getting behind the wheel of a car. None at all whatsoever. Because alcohol is legal. People should know better than to drink and drive. Same thing goes for weed. So, how do you suppose that we solve this issue? Well, we have Ubers, right? We have Lyfts, right? We have public transportation. Okay. What if we took some of these volunteer groups, right? These people that like to hold up picket signs and talk about how bad shit is. What if we took some of those volunteers and we took cars from donation? Because people are giving cars to whoever. I'm sure there's organizations out there. I'm not going to mention them. But what if we took some of these people, they sign up for it, and we obviously need to do background checks on them because you can't just have anybody. We don't want any serial killing Uber drivers to be getting involved in shit like this. But you take some of these volunteers, right? And you can have them set up an Uber type of a system where, okay, you're fucked up and you can't drive and you need to go to this specific place. Then this person has the option, they turn their little weed light on and they can bring you to there. We already have delivery systems that should be able to bring the weed to your fucking house. Now, this is another problem with it being illegal is that people are going to get it regardless. So there's a good chance they're already driving around fucked up. If we just deliver it, then that will cut a lot of that shit out. Okay, we got food delivery systems and all that, but these volunteers can drive these stoned people around. The rest of them got public transportation, Uber, Lyft. But then, so, okay, they're volunteers, so they're not going to get paid. But should the ride cost anything, that is what I mean. If we're gonna be fucking, let's be realistic. You should have to give them the gas money that's gonna cost to get them to where you're fucking going. I think that's only fair. They're already donating their time. The least that you could do is put gas in their car to get them there, right? I think that's fair. I'd say if we were to be able to implement some type of a system like that, that wouldn't necessarily be a bad idea. Well, also, if I may, we uh, we believe that marijuana is a gateway drug, and that is an issue. Okay, dude. And I got news for you. Soda is a gateway to fucking alcohol. Have you ever noticed that? Have you ever noticed that? when you drink a soda kind of burns the same way that alcohol burns. Do you think that's by mistake? Because I don't. And there have been studies that have shown that alcohol is more likely the gateway drug than marijuana. But either way, you're going to have your outliers who are always going to want to do something stronger, get fucked up faster, whatever it is. That's just the way of the fucking world. You can't protect everybody. People are going to make their own fucking decisions. There's nothing that you can do about that. But at least if we legalize it, we have to keep the prices fair. We have to keep the prices fair. You're going to make a mint regardless, dude. You're going to make a mint regardless, so it doesn't matter. If you keep the prices fair, that will drop the popularity of the underground market, and people will be able to buy it through regulated fucking sources. That would be a good thing. And while we're on the subject of doing that, why don't we take some of these fucking convicted dealers and people who have been caught up with possession charges and allow them to work in dispensaries? They already know how to sell the fucking product. Most of them probably have knowledge. They can't get jobs anyway because as soon as somebody sees drug offense on your record, not all places, there are some places I'm sure that'll still work with you, but why not have them take that skill and apply it to a fucking trade? That makes sense because now you have a whole ecosystem that is in place. I don't see much of a problem with that. But these are all thoughts that are coming from somebody I don't know much, okay? I'm just telling you what I seen from the outside looking in, dude. It only seems to make sense. I don't understand why we can't at least try some of these things. Cigarettes are not going anywhere. Vapes are not going anywhere. I mean, let's be fucking realistic, dude. They're not. They're not going anywhere. They're gonna be around for a very long time. Because what's gonna happen is they're gonna ban all of this shit, and then a couple of months from now, some new company is gonna come along and they're gonna roll out a green, eco-friendly fucking vapor deal that is going to it's going to have all the same shit. It's just going to be under a different thing. So people are going to assume that it's different. If you want to do something, take the flavors off of the fucking shelf, man. You want to bitch about advertising to children, there's no better way to do it than through a fucking flavor. But, I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm just saying, man. I mean, this shit can't be done by mistake. It can't. They all know what they're doing. I don't. Maybe we're all just fucked. Maybe that's what it is. There's just no. There's no hope for us because these people, all they care about is money. That's their bottom line, and we've taken a profit over life. We've taken a profit over life, but we want to act like that's normal. I don't get it, man. I really don't get it. I mean, were some of these good ideas? Were they bad ideas? I'm not sure. Are they worth a shot? I would think so. I really would think so. But the problem also is that nobody's going to listen. Nobody's going to listen. Stick the pipes in paper squares. I hear that, dude. I mean, honestly, that's the other thing, too. I didn't even consider papers. Although, in the grand scheme of things, dude, what do you think is worse? Do you think a paper is worse, or is the lighter directly to the thing and smoking that worse? Because I mean, you gotta get it in you somehow, which is where the edibles were a good idea. I mean, really, it seemed decent enough. They need to make. They probably already have it, but something that will heat up, not hot enough to catch anything on fire, just enough so that you can put the fucking weed in your bowl or your bong, and it heats up and it burns the weed by itself so that you don't need to use a lighter, and at least you take the butane out of the equation. I'm sure they probably already have that somewhere, and it's probably so goddamn expensive that you can't even afford it in the first place. But I don't know. It's fucking stupid, man. Really is. I don't know what we're all gonna do. Although a hot knife, yeah. I mean, I guess that could work. Yeah, but then metal particle. Well, look, no matter what you do, you're gonna be inhaling some shit that you probably don't want to inhale. So maybe edibles is the way to go. But a lot of people are against that shit. Probably because it makes sense. You must know that trick. I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think I've done it before. I mean, dude, it's been so many fucking so long since I've really been in the trenches with it. But dude, this is hard, man. It really is because no matter what, eat your buds raw. That shit is disgusting. I've done that before. Not by choice. I've been in a situation where, you know, you gotta eat that shit, motherfucker, or we're gonna have some problems. Horrible. Tastes horrible. Disgusting. But when you don't have any other choice, you gotta do it, dude. You gotta do it. You gotta do it. Oh, that is pretty fucking nasty. But it's supposed to be nasty, right? But then again, I hear edibles are nasty too. Like they got that fucking dirt taste to them. But I think that that's always going to be there. That's how you know you're eating something good, right? Because it tastes like dirt. I don't know, dude. Fucking ridiculous. This is crazy. It really is. Vapid, fucking weed. This is exactly why I wanted to get these uh, advocacy group people on the podcast, because the shit that I was just saying to you, I want to say to them, because I want to see, since they talk to these fucking people all the time, what do they think of it? But they're not going to talk to me, I don't think. And the reason why I say that is because, well, one, being not PC is definitely an issue. And two, audience size is another one. And then three, why? Right? That's probably what they think. What is the what is the point? But I did want to do that. I could have brought up vaping with them. I could have talked about all this shit. And I might as well let you all know that, I did an asshole thing the other day. And I was like, you know what, dude? I'm just going to take a shot in the dark that's probably never going to happen. But since the Mortal Technique is going on tour for the Middle Passage, and hopefully the album will be dropping soon, I was like, let me send this motherfucker a message and see if I can get him on the fucking deal. Because he does a lot of work with volunteer shit going around the world and all of that. So I think he probably knows a lot about how things work too, which would be an interesting conversation to have. But that motherfucker is super busy all the time. So I don't expect to hear anything back from that guy anytime soon. I felt like a fucking idiot right after I sent it. But I was like, you know what? If you don't fucking try, it's never going to happen. So the least you should do is give it a shot. The worst thing that he's going to say is nothing. Or, yeah, no, dude, I'm not doing it. You aren't a pig cock. Was there a certain word for a pig cock that I'm not aware of? I don't know. Shit, man. But I'm trying. I'm trying to work shit out, dude. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. Shoot for the stars. That's what I thought. That's honestly what I thought. I was like, dude, if I can't research be a dot on cannabinoids, I was thinking, like, dude, if I can't reach out to anybody at any time, what the fuck is the point of doing it? Like, I know I reached out to the Jerky Boys guy. He ain't getting back to me, which is fine. He shouldn't. He shouldn't because he can go on platforms like Fox or fucking wherever else. He's on Family Guy and shit. Like, he's a big time dude. So he probably, the problem with inviting people on like those guys is they see it as like I'm trying to use them to get big off of them, when in fact that's not the case. I just want to talk to them because I want to talk to them. I could give a fuck about the goddamn numbers, but whatever. But it is a numbers game, man. That's all anybody cares about. That's all anybody cares about, dude. Stupid. Something so dumb. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because no matter how many people are fucking, no matter how many numbers say that they're actually there, majority of these people that are huge are buying their numbers anyway. So really, we're all just talking to a small amount of people. Just some of them have the illusion that it's bigger than it actually is. And I guess that pays off for them, but fuck that. And I mean, the last thing that I'm going to say before I get the fuck out of here, because I'm sure she'll be back soon. I linked research cannabinoids and I appreciate it, dude. I'll fucking check that out because I know I have to get the Discord back up and running, which later on, after I'm done doing what I have to do, I'm going to try to set it back up on the computer again and figure out what the hell I did wrong the first time. And we can go over shit like that. But, I noticed how much merch is for everything. Nothing wrong with you using them, letting people know you still exist. fucking when I talk about merch, dude, I'm not saying like I'm making shit in mass production. Yeah, it is. Win win. But I'm not talking about making shit in mass production. I've come to realize you need to make your own fucking way in this world, dude. So I'm going to, sooner or later, I'm going to get a fucking hoodie made some goddamn how. I don't know how yet, but I already know what I want to do. I'm gonna get a fucking hoodie made and I'm going to wear that shit around my fucking self. Advertising. Free advertising. Do it my damn self, man. And then people will be like, oh, that shit looks cool. What is that about? And it's going to be douchey to be like, well, it's my podcast. But I'm going to easily follow that up with, look, bro, if I don't fucking put it out there, nobody is going to. Nobody's going to do it but me. So I better fucking do it. I don't know how it's going to get done, but it's going to get done. So I'm in the process of trying to figure out how to do that. It's between getting decal paper or possibly going through Canva and designing some shit like that. Like the logo that you're looking at right now is pretty much going to be what it is. Because I figure that picture would get somebody's attention. Like, what the fuck is that about, right? Weird shit gets people's attention. So, why fucking not? Or you make it from scratch. Redbubble or Teespring. Was he? I don't know. I don't know shit about any of this stuff. So I'm going to. I'm in the process of trying to figure it out. Hold because, dude, I went to fucking part of the inspiration for this, even though I've been thinking about doing it for a while, is I went to Six Flags Great Adventure, whatever you want to call it, the other day. And everybody is wearing Fright Fest hoodies. And I was like, dude, one of those would be cool, man, because I love this fucking thing. And I go in the deal, and they're charging $50 for a fucking hoodie. Are you out of your goddamn mind? And I was like, dude, what the fuck happened to affordable shit? Like, rarely do you see they're gonna think you're at a motorcycle club. Yeah, especially when they see me walking around, they're gonna think I crashed. But you know, I don't know what happened to affordable shit. It seems like everybody's in it for the money. Now I know some places are very expensive where it costs $45 to design a fucking hoodie. So you have to sell it for $50 to $60 to even see any sort of a profit from it. But I am going to find a way around it. My personal limit to spend on a hoodie is $20. And as if I really fucking like the damn thing, I'll spend $20 on it at max. But that's it. I can't spend any more. I can't justify spending any more than that. So, we're going to figure it out, dude. One way or another, we're going to figure it out. But I've been running for an hour and a half. She should be back. Let me see. She should be back soon. And I don't want her fucking rushing me out of here because then I'm gonna forget something, and I definitely don't want to do that. What that's going to be, I have no idea. Could be anything. I remember one thing, forget another story in my fucking life. So for now, I'm gonna wrap this shit up. We'll get back to all of this. I know it's been all over the place, but I'm gonna give myself a few days before I try to go in a podcast again, so I can try to come up with a structure of where do I want to go next, unless something hits me, and then I will start the process. Since it's well, fuck, it's already Tuesday, so I only have like maybe 2 days before I have to get working on something, whatever it's going to be. But yo, I'll catch up with you guys probably later on. Maybe we'll start looking around at different fucking ideas, try to pull these fucking hoodies together. And I'll show you some shit that I found along the way in my search, see what you all think of it. But in the meantime, I'll catch you later. I gotta go do some shit eventually, I think. I'm not sure. Either way, you'll hear from me sooner or later. Thanks everybody for showing up. Who showed up? Nim, Demos, that other dude, sharing love and truth that was in the comments. Appreciate all you guys, and I'll catch y'all later.